The movie begins with a girl named Alice. She gets out of her Uber to join her two best friends at a bar, Sophie and Tess. They drink the night away when Alice keeps receiving texts from her boyfriend Simon. He invites her and her two best friends to his art gallery. He also wants some hot photos now, so Alice goes to the restroom, takes some and sends it to him. She then goes back to her best friends. Hours later, she leaves them to go back home. Once home, she takes a shower while thinking of the waiter from the bar. Simon then joins her and they go to bed. The next day, Alice wakes up and feels a little weird. Simon notices it but she brushes it off, saying it's because she drank last night. Simon goes to grab her some coffees, while Alice starts talking to herself. Minutes later, Alice announces to Simon that she has a work opportunity. She has to fly away in few days. That evening, the couple goes to an art gallery hosted by Simon displaying his work. Sophie joins them and Alice isn't really happy realizing Tessa couldn't make it. Simon finally meets Sophie. After the exhibition, the couple is home and Simon breaks down. Not enough people came in, not the important ones. He believes he is washed up and starts doubting himself. But Alice is here to reassure him, he is the best to her eyes. Days go by and Alice is still having this weird feeling. The three best friends then go on a trip for Tessa's birthday. Alice actually lied to Simon that it was a business trip. During the car ride, he texts her, "Safe flight." And she feels bad for lying to him. This even makes her vomit. After a long road, the group finally arrive at their house for the trip. They divide rooms and Alice gets a good look around. This is the house where the three best friends spent their childhood. They are friends for a long time. After settling down, the girls talk and Alice reveals she had a dream she slept with the waiter of the bar they went to. She feels bad, thinking she can't be having those dreams if she is with Simon. Memories of her and Simon keeps coming back where he is confused. She doesn't want to go to bed with him. Alice is so confused right now. That night, she takes a hot photo and sends to Simon before going to bed. The next day, Alice goes on a run to clear her mind. Two cops come to her asking if she saw a missing girl by the name of Andrea. They give a flyer with her photo. Alice looks Andrea up online, zooming on her photo. Simon texts her again, and this is getting hard for her to keep pretending all is okay. He wants her to come back earlier. She then announces to Tessa she will be leaving earlier. Tessa is upset as they came here for her birthday. The next day, Alice joins the research team for Andrea, while remaining what Simon told her, that he knows she doesn't feel herself around her old friends. Friends come and go. He believes she should just let go. That night, the group of friends is sitting in silence. Days go by and Alice is still feeling so distant from her friends, especially Tessa. One day, Simon calls her confronting her. He found out she lied to him, and that she is with her friends instead of work. Alice breaks down not knowing why she lied. She comes back inside saying that Simon needs her. Tessa can't believe it, wondering since when he became more important than them. Alice lashes out on her, screaming, "Not everything is about you, Tessa." The following day, Alice realizes her phone and wallet are missing. Tessa tells them she has them but will only give them back to her when both finally get a serious discussion. Alice has no choice than agreeing, and Tessa takes her on a paddle. She falls in the water and realizes she lost the earrings Simon gave to her. She tries to find them. She starts panicking and breaks down. She is tired of doing anything wrong. She reveals to Tessa she lied to Simon. Upon asking why, Alice reveals Simon would love her if he knew how bad she was. Tessa realizes that's because Simon tells her many times she is bad. Tessa shares it with Sophie, and both friends are trying to tell Alice that Simon is a red flag. Tessa believes Simon has been erasing the true Alice they know. But Alice claps back, saying maybe she is just changing, and they are the bad friends for not letting her change. She runs and locks herself in the bathroom while crying. The next day, Alice decides to go a walk, when she notices a small path in the woods. She follows it and it leads her to a house. The house is in a bad state. She walks in and calls for Andrea, the missing girl. She then grabs a book and lipstick she finds on the ground, then comes back home. That night, she tries the lipstick while in her bath. Tessa asks to come in, as she was worried Alice was gone out of nowhere the entire afternoon. She made her a sandwich. Alice apologizes for making her worry. She says she doesn't want to go him, Tessa replied, then stay. That night, Sophie comes back after needing some time for herself, and the three best friends seem to bond again. The next day, the three friends go search for Andrea together with the rescue team. Alice confesses how she has this feeling of Simon always in her head. The friends wished she told them sooner. The next day, Alice and Sophie sing happy birthday to Tessa. Tessa asks Alice if she wants her phone back, but she replies, not yet. Tessa wonders what would Simon do if Alice stopped answering. Alice doesn't know. That night, the girls go out to a local bar, having fun, and for the first time in a long time, Alice is without her phone where Simon was constantly texting her. After the bar, they light up some fireworks at their house. The next day, the girls wake up and a car is being heard arriving. They come out and are shocked. It's Simon who decided to show up. The girls are so uncomfortable. He brings them some vegetables and invites himself in the house. Alice immediately locks herself in the bathroom panicking. That evening, Simon cooks them all dinner and the girls are silent. Simon tells Alice he was worried about her when he didn't hear from her. He thought the worse when hearing about that girl going missing, Andrea. He shows to Alice a newspaper explaining Andrea was found dead. Simon then tells Alice she looks different, but her friends reply, she looks herself. After dinner, he tries to go to bed with her but she is not in the mood. He then whispers to her, let's wake up early morning tomorrow, so we can get out here as soon as possible. The next day, Alice packs her stuff and her friends are so sad looking at her leaving. Simon drives her away, while Sophie and Tessa are looking all in shock. While driving, the car stops because a cyclist's passing through. The back window then shatters. When Alice and Simon look back, it's Sophie who broke it with a hammer. Simon loses his mind and gets mad at her. While Alice gets closer to Sophie, without a word, both women understand each other. Simon screams at Alice to get back in the car. She responds, no. Sophie gives her a nod meaning she is doing the right thing. Simon starts walking towards Alice, but Tessa steps in front of him. Both best friends are protecting Alice. Simon still tries to talk to Alice. He screams at her friends to back off, but they stand still. Simon then throws Alice's stuff away and drives away. Both friends comfort Alice who is still in shock. Days go by and Alice confesses how scared she is to her two best friends. Tessa and Sophie put their hand around Alice to calm that voice in her head. It gets quiet and Alice start healing. The movie ends with Alice jumping in the water and looking up.